Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to my No Man's Sky video. This is Shalin Magi, and this video is going to be an update on a video I posted a couple days ago. Um, Not the exact title, but it was basically five staff appearance locations that I shared, five autophage staffs appearances, and one bonus, which was an S-class autophage staff appearance as well. Now, technically, there were two bonus staffs in the video. Obviously, the S-class was a bonus staff. I posted that at the end, but the other bonus staff was basically an orange staff, right? It was pretty much almost a carbon copy of this right here, okay? Um, the only difference was the crystals were still orange, but they were just a little bit lighter, right? And the reason why I included that staff location in the video is because it was in the same system as the first staff that I shared in that video. And I figured, well, since I'm in the same system, I'll just add this to the video and, give you a little bit more options or whatever. However, what I wanted to do was pretty much make a video where I am showing you these staves, right, with all the supercharged slots unlocked, and they are all at S class right now, right? So basically, that way, if you see a staff in that video that I posted a couple days ago, and you really like it. Now, all the staffs were not S class except the very last one, which was the bonus, the bonus staff location. But all the other ones were A class, B class, and even one was C class, or maybe two of them were C class. So in that case, you don't know where the supercharged slots are. And I figure if there is one of those staffs that you really like a lot, like the appearance of, instead of just going into it blindly, buying it and then upgrading it once or twice or, maybe even three times to find the slots. And even if you take it to an S class, it's not a guarantee that you'll find every single supercharged slot. You may have to buy slots until the supercharged slot opens up, or you might have to use your multi-tool expansion kits to open up a slot. So I figured what I'd do in this video is I would highlight every staff, excluding the two first ones, right? And the two first staffs, like I said, the one was just a copy of that orange staff I just showed you. And the very first location I went to in that video, that staff and the orange copy one were both in the Hilbert dimensions. So in this video, we're going to be totally ignoring those two locations. Now, the first location in that video, one of them that we're going to be ignoring, basically had, for all intents and purposes, this staff right here, identical in appearance. Okay? Pretty much a gold handle, right? And green crystals. Beautiful. It's one of my favorite staffs now. The difference is this staff has an amazing supercharged layout. We got one there, we got one here, we have one here, and we have the other one here. I mean, you can't get much better than that, right? I guess the only better layout would be if this one on the bottom happened to be right here and we had them all in a square, but this is really strong, right? So the green and gold version of the staff I showed in the video, which was the first staff location, it was a class C. So I don't know where any of the supercharged slots would have been. Now, with this staff, interestingly, so I shot that video, I posted it, went live. The next day, I carried on with my normal sort of day in the life of, not even a series really, it's just me running around every day doing things that anyone would do in No Man's Sky. And since the video before that, Day in the Life of, was, these 6 staff locations, I was real pressed to do a bunch of autophage missions to gather all the staff components to make every single one of those staffs, because I think they're all amazing looking. So I went ahead and did that. And in that video, Day in the Life of, I was searching for an autophage camp. So, I let off the polyphonic core, and it led me to an autophage camp. When I got to the camp, I noticed that there was a crashed freighter at the camp. And I love doing crash freighters, right? Even this late in the game, it's easy and you get good stuff. So, I set off that thing. I set off L3 PS5, and it brings the autophage and the camp into visibility. And I wasn't really concerned with trying to find or see a different staff appearance. I was more concerned with buying the parts, right? The radiant bore, the radiant chamber, and the radiant heart. And so I may have bought the part there and then, I may not have, I can't remember. But, my curiosity got the best of me, and I went ahead and threw some parts into that machine because I wanted to see what kind of appearance that I would get from that location. And ironically, it was this very staff, right? Pretty much the same appearance that's in that video with the 5 staff locations plus a bonus S-Class staff. So I went ahead with this staff because I believe it was a Class B, or it was a Class B or a Class A. But anyway, the slots that showed up, I think it was this slot and this slot, or it was this slot and this slot. I can't remember exactly which ones. I still have the video footage. So with what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of the video footage from the previous video. That way you can see exactly what the staff starts out as, where the visible supercharge slots are. So that way, if you like the staff, you can go ahead and get it. I provide the address and the coordinates to each location. You can go get the staff, and then you can refer to this video and find out exactly where the supercharge slots are. That way, when you take it to a Class S, if the last supercharge slot or last 2 don't show up, you know exactly where to spend your multi-tool expansion augmentation, or if you're going to pay for it with units, you know which spot to unlock, right? So I know that was a long, drawn-out introduction, but there could be some confusion, right? Because if you go to the video with the 5 staff locations plus the S-Class staff, you might assume that this is, you might go to that first location, grab that green staff, and assume that it's the one I'm holding right now, and it's not. It looks the same, but it's absolutely a different staff. Okay, so with that said, everyone, I will highlight the first staff that I got in that finding the 6 staff locations video. Okay, so I'll be right back with you. And again, excluding the very 2 first staffs that I find in that finding 5 staff appearances plus a bonus S-Class. Technically, this would be the 3rd staff that I found in the video, but we're going to just say this is the first one. Okay, it's the first one that counts. I can't remember what class this was or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some of the footage from that video up when I discover this, and I'm going to go ahead and just add the location and the coordinates in this video. Maybe you click on this video and you didn't see the other video and you don't feel like watching the other video. I'll just put those coordinates in here as well, so stick around. Okay, so here's the portal address, lower left-hand corner. I'll keep it here for a few seconds so you can screenshot that. All right. And here is the coordinates, plus 16.47. And then we've got minus 151.88. All right. I think it looks pretty decent. I liked it enough to where I made it. All right, everyone. So this is the staff with nothing in it. Couldn't remove the mining beam. And I like this. Looks great. However, not the greatest supercharged slot layout, right? Not terrible, but it's not that great. And I think this weapon is going to be a weapon I use once in a while, right? Multi-tool I use once in a while, kind of like my Atlantic multi-tool with the runic lens. All of my mining technology is in supercharged slots in that weapon. And that weapon's mostly for, like, you know, mining my curious deposits, dehydrogen crystals, or, you know, it's just fun using that weapon when I'm out running around, not doing a whole lot, just mining things, blowing stuff up. You get a ton of resources back and it just blows things up real quick. Well, with this weapon, I think what I'm going to do is something a little different, right? I have 6 stabs on me, right? Or yeah, I have the 6 stabs that I found in the previous video. And I am a pulse splitter type of guy when it comes to my main weapon. My favorite secondary weapon is the paralysis mortar, but a close second to that is the plasma launcher. I like the plasma launcher fighting sentinels and living monstrosities. Plasma launcher's just as effective on those, but the paralysis mortar is really effective on the little alien critters and derelict freighters. However, with this weapon, I think, you know, I have some neutron cannon technologies laying around from back in the day. I tried that weapon, and I just didn't care for the feel of it. You know, put the technologies in my storage. I never sold them. And I have seen other players, you know, throwing neutron cannon upgrades and supercharged slots, and some of the damage numbers that show up on paper right here is ridiculous. So I think I'm going to set this weapon up with neutron cannon as my main weapon, and I'm curious to what that damage looks like. So hang tight, and I'll be right back with some neutron cannon upgrades. Okay, I'm back, everyone. Through some of the neutron technology stuff that I have. You know, I the damage already is pretty insane. Like, that's higher than any of my weapons. And it's just got these in it. And I don't know much about the technology, the neutron cannon. So, you know, like, obviously this thing is probably not the greatest, but this is not something. I think I got this from the anomaly, and I don't think this is something that contributes to overcharging your technology. Like, if I put another X class or S class in here, it would overcharge these. I don't think it'll do that with this right here. However, I do not know how great these pieces of technology, these 2 S classes and this 1 X class is. I'm not real familiar with, like, I mean, obviously damage, that's pretty obvious. Charging speed's pretty obvious, but as far as like ion sphere speed and ion spheres created, I have no idea really what that means. Like I said, I messed with this early on and it felt a little weird to me, so I kind of put it on the shelf, but I may run around with this thing for a little while, try to get a feel for it, because the damage looks pretty nice. All right, everyone, this is the next staff in line. Absolutely one of my favorite ones. Looks great. They all look great. So I'm going to go ahead and run the footage of me discovering or grabbing this location with the address and the coordinates, and I'll be right back. So here's the portal address, lower left-hand corner. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that. I'll keep it here for a couple seconds. All right. And here is our coordinates. We've got plus 15.30, and we've got minus 131.07. Okay, so there's your coordinates if you want to screenshot those. You know, I think gold and purple kind of go pretty well together, really. So I can't wait to make this thing. Okay. And B class, right? And the only supercharged slot available is right there. So I have no idea where the other ones will appear when I upgrade this thing. But yeah, so this is a beauty as far as I'm concerned. Really like it. Okay, everyone, I'm back. And so this was a B class. I took it up to S class. I'm going to show you the supercharged slots. Here we go. Pretty good damage, 22,671. Supercharged slots for this are, if you go in the second row all the way to the bottom, that's the fourth column or the fourth space of the second row. Right there. We got one right here, diagonal to it. We got one above it. And we got one right next to that, right? So this is a pretty good layout. Again, supercharged slot right here. And then one here, and one right next to it. And that's it. Beautiful staff. All right. All right, everyone. We are on the next staff right now. And I grabbed this staff about a week or two ago. And I wound up searching for, I was trying to find a staff that, again, had the chrome or galvanized metal color handle. And I wanted red crystals. Now, it is arguable that you could say that they are orange, right? But I think they are close enough to red is as much as I was willing to search around for, right? So the staff is really nice, nice damage output, nice layout. But I'm going to go ahead and throw up the footage of me showing you the location for this staff, and then I'll catch up with you and show you where the supercharged slots are. All right, so there we go. Left-hand lower corner, Euclid Galaxy. I'll leave it here for a second or two for you to screenshot that. All right. And here are the coordinates. We've got minus 57.90, and we have plus 85.93. I'll leave it here a couple seconds for you to screenshot. All right, there we are. And so this thing starts out as a B class, okay? So you've got two supercharged slots that's available right away from when you get it. All right, everyone, and that is that multi-tool. Started out as B class, and I took it up to an S class, and this is what we've got. I've got nice damage on this, right? Really good damage. Supercharged slots are... Okay, hold on. Okay, so we got one here. We got one above it. All right. And then we got one down here. And we have one up here. So we have two in the third row down, right? We have one in the third column. We have one in the fifth column. And then right over top of the third column, third row, we have this one right above it, which is nice. And then above the fifth column in the first row, we have that. So your supercharged slots, again, are right here, right here, right here, and right there. Decent weapon. I'm sure if I put those neutron cannon technologies in here, this would probably be pretty silly damage. All right, so stick around for the next one. Okay, everyone, I'm back, and this is the next staff. Now this was the bonus S-Class staff that I featured at the end of that video with the location and the coordinates. I'll still show the footage with the address and the coordinates, but there's not much of a mystery on where the supercharged slots are on this, but I will break this down after I return from the old footage. All right, so there is the address, and again, I'll just leave it here for a few seconds so you can take a screenshot of it. Euclid Galaxy. All right, and here are the coordinates. Plus 41.73 minus 117.77. All right. And yeah, so S-Class, so we've got, looks like we have a supercharged slot here in the top corner. Looks like we have one right here. We have one down here, and then unfortunately this one is all the way over here. So, okay, everybody, and that is what was the bonus S-Class staff. It is right here, and very decent looking staff. And again, for the supercharged slots, right, we have one here, we've got one here, one here. So two of them in the top row, first column, second column, one in the third row, second column. Unfortunately, the other supercharged slots all the way over here, second column of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what I decided to do with this is I've got all my damage things right here in these supercharged slots, and they're getting adjacency bonuses as well. And then with this, I just threw one of the Sentinel weapon upgrades in it. Now, this upgrade right here does not show up on paper. I call this part paper, right? It doesn't compute the damage of that. But if you look, you know, you've got 2 damage, 19, fire rate, 14, minus 14 reload time. When we put that in the supercharged slot, it absolutely does jack that up, right? It increases the fire rate and the slash minus reload time. So it does make a difference. It just does not show up here. You know, interestingly, you know, a lot of people get really excited when they hear S-Class. And personally, I mean, it's always nice to get an S-Class, but it's in my opinion, it's much better to take something and take it up to S-Class, because as you see, these supercharged slots, while these aren't too bad, they're not great either, but at least they're in the same area. This one's all the way over here, right, as opposed to some of the other weapons I've shown you. So that is the S-Class staff, and stick around for the next one. Okay, everyone, I'm back. And this staff right here, it's a beauty. Now, interestingly, this is the staff that I found in one of my just normal day in the life of videos. This is not the staff, again, that is in the video where, you know, 4 staff or 5 staff locations plus S-Class. Totally different staff. And I'm going to show you the footage of that right now, so stick around. At this spot, let me really quickly just give you the address right there in the lower left-hand corner, Euclid Galaxy. Go ahead and screenshot that. I'll hold it here for another second or two. All right, and here's our coordinates. We've got plus 30.99, minus 178.12, and you can screenshot that as well. I like this, but I always like to look at it from this view, plus this will tell us the class. Okay, Class B, and this is looking nice because this has 2 supercharged slots right together. So that's definitely right up my alley right there. All right. gold handle, green crystals, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. All right, everyone, and that staff. This staff, I should say, the green staff with the gold handle, beautiful. As you can see, pretty nice damage, 22,380. And I can't remember if I had to. I didn't have to purchase too many slots. I don't think I had to purchase any slots to open up all 4 supercharged slots. I believe they appeared as I was upgrading it from B to A and then from A to S. However, the supercharged slots on this weapon are amazing. Okay, it doesn't get much better than this, right? We've got one here, bottom row, third column. We've got one above it, second row, third column, and we have one above it, first row, third column, and then we have this right next to it, right? So complete adjacency setup here and one here. I can't think of a better setup unless maybe if this supercharged slot, instead of being right here, maybe would have been right here, maybe that would have been better, but this is really, really good. All right, everyone, I'm back, and we are at the last staff. This was one of the main staffs in the 6 staff appearance location video. This was one of the staffs that one of the alternatives or the secondary bonus staff was based on, which I didn't include in this video. This does kind of look similar to my sort of reddish orange staff. I'm calling that staff orange or red, but this one definitely is orange. And let me get in some better lighting. So the handle is really awesome, pure metal, galvanized look to it. Crystals are great, and I'm going to show you that footage now of the location and the coordinates. So be right back. All right, that is the glyph set up. I'll leave it here for a second or two. Okay. And here are your coordinates. Minus 0.18, minus 157.90. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that if you want. And this starts out as a B class, but at least you can see where 2 of the supercharged slots are. Okay, and that was the location to this staff right here. And I took this up to S class, as you can see. And this has got a pretty good supercharged slot layout as well. Not the best, but hey, we got one here in the third row, lower column. We have one right above it. Okay, that's really good. We have one right next to it. That's really good as well. The only drawback is you've got one over here, right? So, you know, I tried putting this to try to join them, but as you can see, it lowers the damage. At the end of the day, 20,000 versus 23,000 or 22,000, I'm not going to make a big stink over that. You know, when you start getting into higher, and you know, if I took the neutron technologies, if that was a weapon or a type of weapon I like using, if I threw those technologies in any of these other staves, you know, the damage would be quite high. So yeah, I'm really happy with this staff, just like the other ones, and that is pretty much the layout. I'll go over it one more time. So we got 2 right next to each other right here, right? Third space, fourth space, and there's one right over the third space, and then we have the other supercharged slot right here. All right, and that does it for all these staves. Obviously, you can see that this is sort of one I haven't really got to. I need to go out and pretty much massacre a ton of Sentinels because I need to get some Sentinel technology. As you can see, um, that's why I've got some of these Sentinel maps here. I'm probably going to go ham on some Sentinels. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope this little update to the original video helped. If you were interested in any of these stabs, but you weren't sure how the layouts would turn out, hopefully this sort of answered the question. So, until the next time, peace out.